Hi everybody! We have another study today, only this time it's eyeballs. I am personally terrified of drawing eyeballs. I hate drawing them. I feel like 90% of the expression comes from the eyeballs, and I'm not very good at it. Or I'm very good at simplified eyeballs or very cartoony ones. So for this, I wanted to take things to a more accurate anatomical level, so that's what we did. I followed the same kind of pattern for this one as I did for the previous study. So we started here on a live stream. I live stream these videos on Sundays. I started by looking up a bunch of human eyes on the internet. I didn't really want to take pictures of my own eyes or my husband's eyes in this case because I wanted something that had a very focused perspective. I wanted one that was directly on the eye so I could figure out the eye itself without trying to mess with angles to get everything right. So I looked those up and I just drew a handful of eyeballs. Some were closed, some were open. The hardest part I think with this was shading. The eyes really require a lot more shading to get definition than something like hands. Hands have, shape and definition to them, whereas the eye itself has definition and shape, but the brows around them have shape that is easier or better to convey with shadows and shading, which is really hard with a mechanical pencil. I wish I had gotten a graphite just stump and then a blending stump and had done that way. But otherwise, I think they came out pretty okay. I liked kind of messing around with different types of eye. Some had makeup, some didn't. I just wanted to kind of figure out how the eyelashes fell or how shine showed up and things like that. So for the second part of this, I decided to do another quick practice study. I went with, the same thing, 5 minutes worth, 10 different 30-second sketches. With the eyes, it was a little different actually than the hands. I felt like with the eyes, I wasn't quite as clear, or I guess I didn't understand the shape as quickly when I was rushed. Eyes are harder to draw on the fly. They have a very precise shape and it's harder to wing it with an eye than it is with something like a hand. So for the eyes, getting a quick shape down was actually a pretty big challenge for me because I felt like it wasn't coming out like an eye. By the end, I think I got a little faster and a little better, but initially I was struggling with these, which is good. It means that, I need to work on getting the quick gestural shapes of the eye down a little faster. But I enjoyed it still. It was hard, but I enjoyed it. And then since I didn't have a actual tutorial that I was really interested in showing you guys, I decided to try something that kind of took what I'd been learning about the eyes through the other two studies and translated them into something kind of interesting to me. I took 6 different styles of eye that I like, and I drew them. I used references for each one, and I drew them so that I could sit and look at them and understand what some commonalities were, how people shifted the perspective or changed the anatomy of the eye to make it uniquely their own, and it was a really great way to kind of see what's consistent and what's not. So I did Steven Universe, Studio Ghibli, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Pokemon, Sailor Moon, and Fire Emblem. And some of the consistencies were shine. It wasn't present in all of them, but it was present in most of them. I think Steven Universe is the only one that didn't have some degree of more blatant shine. The other consistency were colored or big pupils that kind of showed a little bit more dimension to the eye. The Avatar one was an expression from Aang where he was actually excited, so his pupils were a lot smaller, which was fun. It really gave, emotion to the eye, which was another exciting thing to see. And I also liked how each eye used the lash line or the lid to give dimension to the eye, but also emotion. It's really easy to fall into this rut of trying to draw eyes the same way every single time, but I really need to start using these structures around the eye to change it for that picture. Not every eye needs to be the same way, and in fact that's honestly very boring. If there's some emotion going on, it should be showing. The eyebrow can stretch up, the pupil can shrink, the white space can expand or detract. It should change according to your character and what you're trying to draw. So this is a pretty short one since I actually didn't go as thorough with some of the other tutorials as I had with this one, but I feel like this was an excellent habit to continue pushing. And this is how I really want these videos to go in the future. I like using the study format. I like making these quick kind of understanding where I'm going sketches, and I think they're going to be useful for me, and I hope they're useful for you guys too. So if you're liking them, if you're enjoying them, please leave me a comment and let me know what you think. Or if you've got suggestions for what to do next, I am totally eager to hear them. I believe next on my list is actually hair, so that's going to be a doozy. But for this one, I would like to, kind of reiterate that one of the biggest things that helped me with this study was having references and trying my best to stick to them. It gives you an understanding of what you're trying to draw, so that when you see these things shifted or distorted for another artist's style, you get why they did it and you see how they did it. It really helped, especially when I was looking at some like the Studio Ghibli one or the Fire Emblem one. It really helped to see how they still had commonalities even though they were drastically different. So that's it for this video. Feel free to check out all my other social media in the description. There's a Patreon, there's an Instagram, Facebook, all that jazz, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!